Hey everyone, welcome to Camp Gretchen Wilderness Survival School. Welcome to Pine Forest Broker Eye and to the month of September. I'm Gretchen Swank, and today I want to introduce you all to a very easy to learn, simple technique I came up with called survival breath. What is survival breath and why do I want you to learn it? Well, have you ever been out hiking and got yourself turned around or encountered a dangerous animal while enjoying your favorite outdoor activities? Or perhaps maybe just come across an animal that you're just generally afraid of. Perhaps you have generalized anxiety disorder, and for whatever reason while you're out camping you just completely lose your shit. So basically, when your body goes from a relaxed, calm state to a state of fight, flight, freeze, this technique and breath work can bring your body back to a state of homeostasis, to a state of calm and relaxation very quickly, so you can return to positive mental attitude, that attitude that you need, that is essential to survive, to regain your logic, your capabilities, to reconnect to your survival skills, your tools, everything that you need to get yourself back on track, get yourself out of the situation that you're in, and to rejoin the activities that you were previously doing, if that's the case. So basically, this breath takes you from that state of fight, flight, freeze. So when you're in a state of fight, flight, freeze, all of the energy of your body goes to getting you out of a situation of danger where there's a perceived or actual threat to your life, safety, and well-being that's immediate. So all of the blood and everything in your body goes to getting you mobile, getting you out of that situation. So you get tunnel vision, heart starts to race, your digestion, everything like that shuts down. So you might feel sick to your stomach and things like that. When we return to a state, when that threat passes, when we return to a state of homeostasis, of balance, and we begin to relax and calm down, that happens because the parasympathetic nervous system activates. And what governs the parasympathetic nervous system is the vagus nerve. So the vagus nerve is the longest cranial nerve in the body. It runs from the brainstem all the way down to the large intestines, and it connects through the throat, to the heart, to the lungs, to the digestive system. So it's wired into all of those systems that are hardwired for an automatic response, that are all involved in that fight, flight, freeze response. So that cranial nerve, that vagus nerve, stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system to say, okay, the threat is past, we can calm down now, everything's good. So with this technique that I'm giving you today, if you're out there and you lose your shit, you can say, hey, I need to return to my positive mental attitude. I can't think straight right now. I need to regain my bearings so I can get out of this situation, or calm down, recenter, ground down, and refocus and move forward. So how do we ground? What do I mean by grounding? Because the word ground in our society is kind of tossed around like a popular buzzword today, and it can mean different things to different people. What I mean by grounding within this framework is regaining control of the systems of your body through your 5 senses. So this technique will involve touch, hearing, the 5 senses of your body in various ways, plus breathing as a catalyst to bring that sense of calm that's going to stimulate the vagus nerve and bring that sense of calm and recentering back to your body. So let's just get right into it without much further ado. Suppose you are out in a situation, maybe it's an actual survival situation, or you got off track on a hike, or you just are losing your shit out there for whatever reason, and things are spinning, you feel like you're losing your breath, you are just losing control. What are you going to do first? If you have a partner or someone with you who you can connect with, touch is an immediate first go-to. So if you can hold hands or gain contact to some part of each other's body, like the shoulders or the arms, the hands are really important. If you can hold hands in some way and really focus on that sense of touch, that's going to help ground you down. That's going to help bring you back to the present moment rather than be out unfocused. So that sense of touch. If you don't have a partner, or even if you do and you have access to cold water, sticking your hands in cold water is a startle response and a quick response to bring you back to your senses very quickly. So cold water. If you don't have cold water or access to any type of water, rocks, cool rocks, the ground, the earth itself, putting your hands into dirt, the cool earth, grabbing a tree, anything that you can grab onto that can stimulate that sense of touch. That's going to help activate that grounding, bringing you back to your senses first. Once you have that, you want to then turn towards your breath. So I'm going to introduce you guys to a breath that I learned as being a yoga teacher. It's called Ujjayi breath or victory breath. It's kind of like fogging up a mirror. It's really long, slow, filling inhales that press the diaphragm way down into the belly space, and then the exhales come up through a restricted throat. So it's almost like letting air out slowly through a tire, or like you're fogging up a mirror. It makes an audible sound. This is going to stimulate your sense of hearing as well, and that can be calming and soothing and bringing you back to your senses, back to your mind. So I'm just going to demonstrate a couple of rounds here. The inhale goes through a restricted throat as well, but it doesn't make quite as noticeable audible sound as the exhale does. So if you can just sit down, if you can keep your hands in the water or on a partner or a friend, or even on your knees, if you can touch your knees or your own arms and squeeze, that would be helpful. Whatever's comfortable for you, but making sure you're activating those hands in some way. And then you just draw that inhale in through the nose. So what you may have noticed on my first round there was my exhale was twice as long as my inhale. That is imperative for that vagus nerve stimulation. The vagus nerve will get stimulated either way, but the exhale being twice as long as the inhale will help expedite that stimulation of the vagus nerve and the kick in of the parasympathetic nervous system. The inhale is nice and slow. I'm not really counting, but maybe for like 6 seconds on an inhale. And I try for the exhale to really let that exhale completely expire until I have no breath left in my body. And once those lungs are completely empty, the inhale will begin to naturally happen. So you don't have to exaggerate the sound. You want the sound to be about as loud as you can hear it. So you might be able to hear me through your microphone, through your computer or your phone, whatever your listening device you're using to watch this video. When we're on the yoga mat doing that breath in yoga class, we say make the sound about as big as your mat. So everyone's, whether you do yoga or not, is kind of familiar with the size of a yoga mat. So you don't want to really disturb others with it. If you're out there, You can make that sound as loud as you want, however you need to do it to calm yourself down. It's also called like ocean sound breath. So if you can connect that sound of breath to ocean waves, like kind of like crashing on a beach and then pulling back on itself, and get that visual, that's also calming to the system while you're out there if you're losing your shit. So getting that visual going as well. While you're doing this breath, as you notice your system is calming down very quickly, you can then begin to look around at things in your environment that you can latch onto to identify. And that might sound very pedestrian, like, why would I want to do that? That sounds kind of like a child identifying, like, oh, that's a tree. But it's very grounding. Like, look at something preferably that's not going to reactivate you, like something like the sunset, or a tree that's pretty, or a plant that is interesting, something that you can just look at and study, and like, oh, that's green and that has this texture. Really get down to it, like start to study the details of it, because that goes further to stimulating that sense of sight. So while you're doing this breath, you're continuing to activate the hands through the sense of touch. You're continuing to stimulate the sense of hearing with the sound of the breath. You're stimulating the eyesight by look and projecting outward. Sometimes when my son and I are out hiking, I make him stop every so often when I can tell his energy is really big, and I'll be like, stop, tell me what you smell, tell me what you hear, tell me what you see. And that brings me to the sense of smell. Something that you smell while you're bringing this breath in, noticing those things. That is what's going to bring you back to your 5 senses, back to the present moment, and help you ground down. When that parasympathetic nervous system kicks in, then you can return to that positive mental attitude. You can begin to think once again. You can access your tools, your skills, your survival techniques. You can get your bearings about you, and you can follow through. You can rejoin your group. You can rejoin your activities that you were doing. You can self-rescue if you need to. You can get rescued. You can set up your shelter that you need to until you can make a plan for the next day to get out of the situation you're in. Whatever you need to do, but you can think and make it happen once you can calm down. And you can come back to this technique a number of times. So again, reconnect to the 5 senses while using that breath, that Ujjayi breath. I'm going to do it one more time here, then we'll close down for the day. So inhaling through the nose, nice and slow. Then exhale. I like to exhale through the mouth. Some people like to exhale through the nose. Just another side note, and this goes further into yoga philosophy and yoga techniques. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose is extra grounding. It's an earth breath, and we are trying to ground, and so that's helpful, that's useful. It's going to make less of an audible sound through your nose. You're going to get more sensation through the nose. If you choose to exhale through the mouth, which that's how I prefer to do it, it's going to make more of an audible sound. It's going to be more emotionally releasing for you. So in a survival situation, that's probably going to feel a little bit better for you. That's connected to water energy, and water energy, a water breath, will help you kind of push out some of that built up emotional energy that got suppressed during that fight, flight, freeze response, when everything went and it got, pent up and pushed around, and then like you can just and you release. Why do you think your body naturally sighs when you're frustrated? And you'll catch yourself being frustrated, and your body goes that's that emotional response, that release. So you being the conductor of that, you're kind of facilitating that emotional response. So you can either do extra grounding through the inhale and exhale through the nose, or you can do it inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth, getting that grounding and that emotional release, whatever you prefer. As always, as you would practice your outdoor skills, your wilderness survival skills, your ancestral skills, what have you, you want to practice this before you go out there, or else you're not going to automatically go to it if you need it. So it's not going to be like something you think of, oh, like I'm losing my shit, I need to go to something that I know will pull me out of this. So practice it at home. It can be very relaxing if you're having a stressful day. Like, you can do this breath before bed. You can do this breath when you wake up. You can do it throughout your day if you feel stressed out, and it will calm you down. It will bring you back to center. So why am I going to include this video on my Brockeri channel? Because these are techniques that connect us to the earth and to the cycle, because we're part of nature. And as being part of nature, it's important that we know how to connect to it and know that we can affect our outcomes and our position within nature by using our surroundings, by using rocks, by using water, by using the elements around us to assist us, by using the air that we breathe. People don't realize that the air that we breathe, that we take breath for granted, but breath can literally save us. We can harness the power and the energy of the breath to guide us throughout our day and to change our circumstances. So that's all for today. I could get a lot further deeper into this, and I'm sure you do not want me to do that at this point. So I'm going to close out and wish you all a happy day. If you want more information on this or further instruction, just drop me a note below, and I'd be happy to reach out to you personally. Thank you. Have a great day.